If you're looking for a 3-row crossover, chances are that the Honda Pilot has made your shortlist. And it's easy to see why. This is a vehicle that offers nearly all the versatility of a minivan, but with the SUV style that Americans are so crazy about. Now for 2018, Honda has made some very small changes, but has mostly left well enough alone. And this review will cover any of those differences for all 5 trim levels. So let's go ahead and see why this is a top pick among families. We would like to specially thank Gates Honda for allowing us to come out and film this review. If you would like to find out more information about their dealership and large inventory of Hondas, then check the video description for both their physical and web addresses. All Pilots come with Honda's corporate key fob, but the LX does without smart entry. The LX also does without the remote start system that the rest of the trims have. Like always, we'll start off the review by looking under the hood. Under the hood of the Pilot, you'll find only one engine. That is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, making 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. But despite there being only one engine, there are 2 transmissions. LX, EX, and EXL come with a 6-speed automatic, while the Touring and Elite come with a 9-speed automatic shared with the Acura MDX. Front-wheel drive is standard, and all-wheel drive is optional for $1,900. So that makes 4 possible combinations of fuel economy, all of which are pretty close to one another. The 6-speed automatic models are rated at 22 and 21 mpg combined, with the 9-speed models coming in at 23 and 22 mpg combined. These numbers are pretty much the same as in the Toyota Highlander. Well, that sums up the powertrain information, so now let's check out the exterior design and features. So vehicles in this class are not really known for being stylish, and the Pilot is certainly on the modest side of things. The grille has a simple trapezoidal shape, with 3 distinct chrome bars on every trim level. The top chrome bar extends into the headlights, which are LED for this Elite and halogens on all the rest. The cool LED daytime running lights, however, are on all but the LX. And below, you have a separated turn signal and fog lamps on all but the base model. In regards to ground clearance, it's a reasonable 7.3 inches. And that little chrome piece at the bottom is on the Touring and Elite trims only. Heading up to the wheels, there are 3 options depending on the trim level. The lowest LX comes with basic looking 18-inch alloys, while the EX and EXL spice things up with 18-inch contrast alloys. At the top end, the Touring and Elite come with these 20-inch alloys, which bear an extremely strong resemblance to the ones in the MDX Advance. The brakes are 12.6-inch ventilated disc in the front and 13-inch solid disc in the rear. And the tires are all seasons, of course. Moving up to the mirrors, they are body colored on EX and up, and also heated with all-wheel drive. The lane watch camera also comes on most trims, except the LX where it's not available, and the Elite where it's replaced by blind spot monitoring. The Pilot measures in at 194.5 inches long, which is a bit larger than the Highlander, but a bit smaller than the Pathfinder and Explorer. Visually, it looks very large. Much like its rivals, there are a lot of available active safety technologies. Automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, and adaptive cruise control are standard on Touring and Elite, and optional on the EX trims. Those systems are part of the reason why the Pilot is rated as a top safety pick for 2018 by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. As we move around to the rear here, you'll see it's fairly plain looking, but that's typical for the class. The most eye-catching element are the taillights, which are LED on every trim level. And below you have the reverse light, chrome accent, and hidden exhaust outlet. In regards to towing, the Pilot can handle 3,500 pounds with front-wheel drive and 5,000 pounds with all-wheel drive. You have a rear wiper, spoiler, and roof rails on the Touring and Elite. Every Pilot comes with a 19.5 gallon fuel tank, giving it a range of 429 miles as equipped. The most efficient version can handle 449 miles, and all on regular unleaded fuel. That's it for the exterior, so now let's check out the warm cabin. So first glancing inside the cabin, my first impression is that it looks very big and airy. That feeling is certainly helped by this model's light beige interior. But black and gray are also available if you prefer darker colors. Every trim has those same 3 color options, even though the seating materials change. LX and EX will have cloth seats, EXL and Touring will have leather seating, and the Elite has this perforated leather. The door trim is composed of pleasant materials, with leather on the areas where your arm would be. The upper panel is also soft touch. Your front 2 windows are one-touch automatic. You also have 2-person memory seats on the top 2 trims. As you can see, there is a ton of storage in the doors. As far as the seats themselves go, they are 10-way power adjusting with 2-way power lumbar on all but the LX. On that trim, they're 6-way manual. The perforated leather on the Elite is of very nice quality, though you don't have anything like contrast stitching. Once inside, you still have a sense of roominess, but the actual design has not changed this year. For materials, the upper dash is made entirely of soft touch plastic with a nice graining. And in the middle, you have some piano black trim. The lower plastics are hard touch, but everything feels solid and fits together nicely. Press the standard button to start. When you do, this 8-inch display fires up on all but the LX, which has a tiny one. The gauges have a somewhat interesting design, with a traditional tach and digital speedometer. All models also have this large 4.2-inch multifunction display. All Pilots have electric rack and pinion power steering, and the wheel is leather wrapped on EXL and up. This side of the wheel is loaded with buttons, mostly for audio, and this button turns on the Elite's heating. The other side has controls for the adaptive cruise, safety systems, and the multifunction display. Additionally, the wipers are rain sensing on the Elite. The steering wheel itself is manually adjusting on all trims. Here's the Elite's exclusive blind spot monitoring light, which replaces lane watch in the other trims. Now moving on to storage, the Pilot has just about as much as the Odyssey minivan. They actually went with a minivan-like armrest, which allows this whole area to be free. Once you slide that back, you have a giant pit, good for storing a purse, laptop, or other bulky item. You also have USB, aux, and 12-volt outlets. In addition to that, there is another big space up here, and some more connections including a higher voltage charging USB. Helping to save space is this electronic shifter, for models with a 9-speed auto. Press the D for drive, and press it again for sport mode where you can shift manually via the paddle shifters. For reverse, pull back on the trigger. Once engaged, a standard backup camera pops up on all models. They all have guidelines, though sensors are reserved for the top 2 trims. You can also switch between 3 angles with these buttons. Press P for park. The row above it is for the Blu-ray DVD player in the back, and next to it is the 3-stage heated seats on the EXL and up, and then 3-stage ventilation for the Elite only. You have a tri-zone automatic setup on all but the base LX. All of the buttons are conveniently located here, so it's super easy to use. You can also control the rears from here. And if you want, you can lock it from being changed in the back. Now let's hear the 540 watt 10-speaker sound system. Sound quality is pretty good, even if it's not going to blow your socks off. I do wish they would add back the volume knob. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Honda Link system. This is not the newest version of Honda Link, but the functionality is pretty much similar. Let's start with navigation. This is Honda's Garmin-based setup, which makes things really easy to understand. It is pretty responsive to scrolling and zooming. There are also shortcuts along the top, so we can quickly go into audio. In here you can control the Bluetooth audio or any of the other numerous sources. Next up, we have phone. In here you can do all the typical things, like selecting contacts which have automatically synced over from your smartphone. One of the biggest features though is the ability to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. They will show up here once you plug them in via USB. That covers the main features that I'll talk about here, but if you want to see a detailed tutorial of the Honda Link system, then check out our dedicated tech help video. A link is provided in the description. Up top here you have an auto dimming mirror on EXL and up, with separated home link remotes. Those same trims also have a moonroof, although only the Elite gets a second one in the back. It doesn't connect with the front because of the rear entertainment system. The front portion does open up since it's basically a traditional moonroof, and it has a wind buffer. So all in all, the cabin of the Pilot is an impressively comfortable place to spend time. While it's not the most stylish or high-tech place to be, this interior checks all the boxes where it counts, for things like space and ease of use. This is a place the whole family can enjoy. So let's check out the rest. We will have detailed pricing info at the end. The back door trim is mostly the same as the front, with leather on the armrest portion. The top though is hard touch. You do get these window sunshades on models equipped with the rear entertainment. So in the back of the Pilot, you have a ton of space. To be exact, 38.4 inches of legroom and 40.2 inches of headroom. That is more headroom than either the Highlander or Pathfinder, but the legroom is a little better in the Nissan. Any way you cut it though, you're gonna be comfortable. The seats themselves are the same high quality leather as in the front, with captain chairs being on only the Elite. As far as amenities go, the Pilot has got you covered. Like I already mentioned, the back has their own climate zone on most trims, but the heated rear seats are for Elite only. Down below you have a ton of connections, including a handy household outlet and 2 USB ports specifically for charging. As you can see, legroom and foot space is good for someone of my size. And the seat does slide. Just like in the front, you have an adjustable armrest. And in the center, you have a console with some storage and cup holders. The panel moonroof in the back is really nice and expansive, but I do wish it was one piece with the front. Instead of that feature, you get this rear entertainment system, standard on the top 2 trims and optional on EXL. It can play Blu-rays. Honda makes getting into the third row supremely easy. Just press the button and everything slides and folds in one motion. Now you have a walkway into the back. So obviously back here it's pretty tight, but I've never been in a third row that was truly comfortable. This is right in line with the class. There are also some cup holders and air vents. A power tailgate is standard on EXL and up. In the back of the Pilot, you'll find 16.5 cubic feet of space with the third row up, more than either the Highlander or Pathfinder. There is also some space under the floor. To fold the seats, just pull the strap and push forward. Once you do that, you now have 46.8 cubic feet of space, and that expands to a maximum of 83.8 cubic feet with the second row folded. The passenger seat is 4-way power on the EXL and up. The glove box is dampened and very big. Overall, very nice. Well guys, that does it for this in-depth look at the 2018 Honda Pilot Elite. We thank you for joining us, and if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Join us again as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.